Good morning everybody, Chris from the Headache and Pain Management Centre here for your Friday morning, and today we are talking about dry needling and basically just talking about what it is and how it all works, what it can do, what it can help with, how it should be carried out, and also the conditions that dry needling can help with. So dry needling is a relatively new thing around the place. It's becoming more and more popular from physios and massage therapists and people alike. A lot of people are being trained in this, and so we're talking about a few of the things that can sort of help when it comes to dry needling. I can see there's a few people there. Good morning, it's nice to see you. Type in below and say hello if you are there, and give us a like. So yes, that's what we're talking about today, about dry needling. So when it comes to dry needling, there's a lot of confusion about the differences between dry needling and acupuncture, and basically what the differences between the two of them are. Now, the similarity obviously between the two is that we're using the same instrument. Okay, we're using a very fine needle hello Peter, good to see you. We're using a really good, very thin, fine needle into the skin in order to create some effects. And those two effects that you use for dry needling, the first one is actually to get into the muscles themselves to release what they call trigger points in those muscles in order to get some more function back into those muscles. And the second thing that dry needling can do is it can actually get sensitized nerves. So if those muscles are supplied by nerves which are a little bit sensitive, by putting the needles into the muscles, what it can help do is remodulate, get some sort of normal messages back into those nerves, so it's a little bit easier to move and a little less painful. So it is a really nifty way to do that if you're not getting anywhere else. So getting that fine needle, putting it into the skin and putting it into very specific spots which are very much anatomical. You can see the muscle poster behind me. So with acupuncture, they're looking more at well, certainly Chinese medicine anyway, they're looking more at sort of meridians and sort of energy sort of line through the body, which, you know, it's a bit sketchy, the evidence for that. And basically they're tapping it in skin deep and leaving it in for sort of 5, 10, 15 minutes at a time for a lot of it. I know there are other types of acupuncture out there. I'm not all that familiar with them, and so before the acupuncturists come, you know, attacking me about all this sort of stuff. But certainly when it comes to dry needling, what we're looking to do is to put the needle into the muscle itself, and we're looking to get it to have one of two effects, either to release the muscle off so that you can move it better. Athletes really like that. We've got a number of runners, a number of athletes that really like coming in and getting their legs needled to get their muscles actually starting to free up and loosen off again. And secondly, some people that are coming in with a lot of chronic back pain or chronic neck pain, whiplash, things of that nature, where the muscles themselves are sensitizing a nerve and causing less function. So that's what we use dry needling for from there. Now, how it should be done when we're talking about dry needling, it needs to be done safely. Okay, so that's the first and foremost thing. It needs to be safe. So when the staff that we have here at the Headache and Pain Management Centre have all done extensive training with dry needling, where we think a lot about infection control. We think a lot about the ways and means in which the needles are inserted. So obviously the risks when it comes to needling, when you're putting needles in anywhere, is missing the spot that you're wanting to hit. Obviously with what we're doing here, we take a course which is run out of Melbourne, where there's actually exams at the end of each course, where we're actually very much testing on all the muscles that we need to do from there, which makes it very, very safe. And it also means that you get more bang for your buck, because if you know where you're actually putting the needles into, you know what the problems are, you know where the issues are in your back or your leg or wherever it is, and you're putting the needle in the right spot, it means you're going to get a quicker result, and it means you're going to get a lot less pain and a bit more function coming from there. The question a lot of people actually call us up about when it comes to dry needling, they come across us on the website, is basically what conditions can it help? And basically the conditions that dry needling can help are very much chronic musculoskeletal pain. So we find that these people that get a lot of relief from dry needling are those people where their bodies are in a state of, shall I say, they're kind of stuck. They're they're getting to a point where their pain is getting better, but it's not, it's not getting any further than what it is. It's really helpful for people with things like gluteal tendinopathies, people with bursitis in their shoulders or their hips. And I'll give you a hint with that. With bursitis, it's not actually the bursa that's the problem, but it's the muscles that are overlying the bursa that is the issue. So that's what we put the acupuncture needles into. It's really good as well for people with chronic spinal pain as well, like chronic chronic neck pain or chronic back pain, because what happens when you have the needle and you put it into the skin, you put it into the muscle, what the needle's able to do is it's like an extension of your thumb. So when someone's giving you a massage, when someone's getting their thumb sort of into your leg or into your neck or into your back, basically can only go in as deep as as hard as you can push. So when you're pushing on the back, it might only get the first 20 to 30 millimeters of tissue when you're sort of pushing on that. However, what we find is that a lot of these people, when they're getting their issues, it's actually the muscles that are much deeper that's the problem. So they might be more like 50 or 60 millimeters deep. And so what the needle actually does, it gets onto that muscle which is deep inside. It doesn't hurt when you put the needle in. It only gives a little bit of a twitch response, a bit of a bit of cramping type response when you put the needle in there and hit the spot that you need. And quite often what happens, and it's really liberating to see this, is that when you're putting the needle in and people get that, oh, hello, what's that? You know, that sort of feeling, they're actually saying that is their pain. Like, that's the pain that they get. So, you know, when we see people, for example, with this really deep-seated gluteal pain, sort of in the buttock, or some really deep-seated front of shoulder pain that they can't seem to find where it is, when you put the needle into the muscle that has the trigger point in it, or the muscle that's sensitized, what often happens is that we put the needle in, it goes shung, and it shoots the pain right to the shoulder and tells us that that's what we actually need to deal with long term. So getting those muscles released off and then making those muscles strong so the pain doesn't come back, because when it comes to it, pain is there as a protective mechanism. It's there to actually protect us. And when we have pain, we don't want to move the part. And basically what we need to do consciously is show you where the pain's coming from and actually give some kind of treatment to get that all going. Now, before the critics come at me and say, hey, that's a really simplistic argument, yes, I know. It is a lot more complicated than that when it comes to the treatment of pain. Often there are other things that cause pain as well, you know, joint stiffness, often sort of sensitivity all through the nervous system, and other times it can be other inputs coming in to your system, so a bit of stress or lack of sleep and things like that. But we find dry needling is a really good adjunct, a really good treatment to start working out if there is actually a physical problem that's been missed, or that we need to actually go on and treat other things elsewhere. But we do find more often than not that dry needling is a really good way to get those muscles releasing off relatively quickly, very fast, and getting that system turned down a little bit peripherally anyway, so from your spinal cord outwards, to get a lot more results than previously that you would have got with just massage or some hands-on work. So in summary, dry needling uses a really thin needle, puts into the muscle to either get some desensitization in those nerves or to release the trigger points themselves so that you can move again, get strong, and get back to doing what you want to do. Ask about dry needling in the comments below if you like, if you want some more information about what conditions it might be able to treat. And it does treat a whole swathe of conditions, pain conditions with bursitis, tendinitises, chronic sorts of things. So if there is any questions about what dry needling might be able to help, please type it in the comments below, send us a line, drop us a line, and we can let you know whether or not dry needling might be the thing for you. Hey, good morning. Hope everything's all going well for you wherever you might be watching this video. Hope you have a great Friday, and I'll be back early again next week to talk more about the different things that we're able to help out with, and a bit more education about different conditions with headaches and chronic pain. Thanks for joining me once again, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks, bye for now.